Have you ever felt like your days are slipping away while others seem to accomplish twice as much with the same 24 hours? Tonight, I want to share with you an ancient secret from one of Japan's most legendary figures that will transform how you approach sleep and productivity forever. Minamoto Yoshitsune, the 12th century samurai philosopher, discovered what modern science is only now beginning to understand about the relationship between strategic rest and peak performance. While the world tells you that you need 8 hours of sleep to function, Yoshitsune mastered a technique that allowed him to operate at full capacity with significantly less rest, giving him the competitive edge that made him a legend. This isn't about depriving yourself of sleep or pushing your body beyond its limits, but about understanding the profound difference between quantity and quality when it comes to rest. The secret lies in what Yoshitsune called the 3 pillars of warrior rest, a systematic approach that transforms your sleep from passive recovery into active optimization of your mental, physical, and spiritual capabilities. Most people approach sleep like they approach everything else in their lives, unconsciously and reactively, hoping that somehow 8 hours in bed will magically restore their energy and clarity for the next day. But what if I told you that the most successful people throughout history, from ancient warriors to modern entrepreneurs, have known something about rest that completely contradicts everything you've been taught about sleep? Before we dive into this transformative knowledge, I need you to do something that will change your relationship with this information forever. Hit that like button right now if you've ever felt frustrated by how much time sleep takes away from your goals. Subscribe to this channel if you're ready to learn ancient wisdom that can revolutionize your modern life. And comment below telling me what you would accomplish if you had 3 extra productive hours every single day. Your answer might inspire someone else who's struggling with the same challenge. And together we can create a community of people who refuse to accept mediocrity as their ceiling. Now, let me tell you about a moment that changed everything for a young executive named David, who discovered Yotoshine's sleep technique during the most challenging period of his career. David was working at a startup that demanded everything from him, competing against companies with unlimited resources while trying to maintain his relationships and personal growth. Every night, he would collapse into bed exhausted, set his alarm for 6 hours later, and wake up feeling like he hadn't slept at all. The cycle was destroying his creativity, his decision-making ability, and slowly eating away at his confidence. He tried every productivity hack, every sleep aid, every morning routine, but nothing gave him the edge he desperately needed. His girlfriend was starting to worry about his health. His business partners were questioning his judgment, and he was beginning to doubt whether he had what it takes to succeed at the highest level. The breaking point came on a Tuesday morning when David realized he had spent the entire previous day in a fog of mental exhaustion, making poor decisions that cost his company a major client and damaged relationships he had worked months to build. He was trapped in a vicious cycle where poor sleep led to poor performance, which led to more stress and anxiety, which led to even worse sleep. That night, sitting in his apartment at 2 in the morning, staring at the ceiling while his mind raced with worries and regrets, David stumbled upon the writings of Minamoto Yoshitsune and discovered that the greatest warriors in history didn't achieve their legendary status by sleeping more, but by sleeping with intention and precision. Yoshitsune taught that the mind of a true warrior operates on 3 distinct levels of consciousness, and most people waste their sleep by allowing these levels to remain chaotic and unaligned. The first level is what he called the surface mind, the part of consciousness that processes daily concerns, worries, and mental chatter. This is where most people spend their entire day, constantly reacting to external stimuli, jumping from one thought to another, never really focusing deeply on anything important. The surface mind is essential for navigating daily life, but when it dominates your consciousness, it creates the scattered, anxious mental state that prevents quality rest and peak performance. The second level is the strategic mind, which processes patterns, solutions, and creative insights. This is where breakthrough thinking happens, where complex problems get solved, where innovative ideas emerge. Most people only access their strategic mind occasionally and accidentally, usually when they're relaxed or engaged in a flow state activity. But Yoshitsune discovered how to activate and direct the strategic mind deliberately, especially during sleep, when it can work uninterrupted by the chaos of daily consciousness. The third and deepest level is what Yoshitsune called the essence mind, where true wisdom and intuitive understanding emerge. This is the part of consciousness that connects you to your deepest values, your life purpose, and your highest potential. When you operate from your essence mind, decisions become easier, relationships become more authentic, and your work becomes an expression of who you truly are rather than just a means of survival. The revolutionary insight that Yoshitsune discovered, and that modern neuroscience now confirms, is that when these three levels are properly aligned before sleep, the quality of rest becomes so profound that quantity becomes almost irrelevant. Instead of tossing and turning while your surface mind races with tomorrow's problems, instead of waking up tired because your strategic mind couldn't process the day's complexity, you can achieve what Yoshitsune called unified rest, where all three levels of consciousness work together to restore and strengthen your entire being. The technique begins with what Yoshitsune called the evening clearing, a precise 15-minute practice that prepares your consciousness for optimal rest. This isn't meditation in the way most people understand it, but a strategic mental process that addresses each level of mind with specific intention. The practice must be performed in a quiet environment, free from electronic devices and external distractions, at least 1 hour before you intend to fall asleep. For the surface mind, you spend the first 5 minutes performing what Yoshitsune called the day's completion, where you mentally acknowledge every significant event, decision, and interaction from the past day without judgment or analysis. You're not trying to solve problems or make plans, simply creating a sense of completion that allows your surface mind to release its grip on the day's concerns. This process involves systematically reviewing each major interaction you had, each decision you made, each challenge you faced, and each moment of joy or frustration you experienced, not to analyze or change anything, but simply to acknowledge that these experiences are complete and can now be integrated into your wisdom rather than carried as mental burden. You begin by visualizing your day from the moment you woke up, moving through each significant event chronologically, spending just enough time on each memory to acknowledge it fully, then consciously releasing it with gratitude for the learning it provided. This creates what Yoshitsune called mental closure, where your surface mind can stop recycling the day's experiences and prepare for true rest. For the strategic mind, you spend the next 5 minutes identifying the 3 most important challenges or opportunities you're currently facing, and instead of trying to solve them, you formally entrust them to your unconscious processing while you sleep. Yoshitsune understood that the strategic mind works best when it's given clear direction, but not forced to produce immediate results. You state each challenge clearly in your mind, visualize the optimal outcome you desire, and then consciously release the need to solve it immediately, trusting that your unconscious intelligence will work on these issues while you rest. This isn't passive hoping but active delegation to the most powerful problem-solving system you possess, your unconscious mind that never stops working and often produces breakthrough insights during sleep. The key is to be extremely specific about what you're asking your strategic mind to work on, while simultaneously being completely unattached to how or when the solutions will appear. You might say something like, I entrust to my strategic mind the challenge of finding a creative solution to increase our company's revenue by 20% while maintaining our core values and team satisfaction. I release my need to figure this out consciously and trust that insights will emerge naturally. The final 5 minutes are devoted to what Yoshitsune called essence alignment, where you connect with your deepest values and long-term vision, creating a sense of purpose that infuses your sleep with meaning and direction. This involves reflecting on why your current challenges and goals matter in the context of your larger life purpose, visualizing the person you're becoming through your efforts, and feeling genuine gratitude for the opportunity to grow and contribute through your work and relationships. During this phase, you consciously connect with what Yoshitsune called your warrior's heart, the part of you that remains committed to excellence and service, regardless of external circumstances. You remind yourself of the impact you want to have on the world, the legacy you want to leave, and the values that guide your most important decisions. This isn't about creating pressure or expectations, but about aligning your sleep with your deepest sense of meaning, so that even your rest serves your highest purpose. When David first applied this evening clearing technique, he was skeptical that 15 minutes of mental preparation could make any difference to his sleep quality. But that first night, something remarkable happened. Instead of his usual restless sleep filled with anxiety dreams and frequent awakening, he experienced what he later described as the deepest, most restorative rest of his adult life. He woke up after 5.5 hours feeling more alert and energized than he had after 8 hours of his previous chaotic sleep. But the real transformation came in the weeks that followed, as he realized that Yotoshine's technique was creating a compound effect that improved every aspect of his performance. The strategic mind processing that happened during his unified rest was generating insights and solutions that previously would have taken him hours of conscious effort to develop. Problems that had seemed intractable were revealing elegant solutions. Creative opportunities were becoming obvious where he had only seen obstacles, and his decision-making was becoming faster and more accurate as his unconscious intelligence was freed to work at its highest level. One morning, David woke up with a complete strategy for winning back the client he had lost, including specific talking points and a creative proposal that addressed all their concerns while creating additional value they hadn't even considered. The solution was so elegant and comprehensive that it would have taken him days of conscious analysis to develop. Yet it appeared fully formed after a single night of strategic mind processing. The essence alignment was creating a sense of purpose and direction that eliminated the decision fatigue that used to drain his energy throughout the day. Instead of constantly questioning whether his efforts were worthwhile or struggling with competing priorities, he was operating from a clear sense of what mattered most, which made every choice easier and more energizing. Most importantly, the consistent quality of his rest was building what Yoshitsune called accumulated vitality, a reserve of mental and physical energy that allowed him to maintain peak performance even during the most demanding periods. Now I want you to pause for a moment and really consider what this means for your life. How many hours do you currently spend in bed that don't actually contribute to your restoration and energy? How many mornings do you wake up feeling like you haven't really rested, even after what should have been adequate sleep? How much of your potential are you leaving unrealized because you're not operating from a foundation of true vitality? These aren't just rhetorical questions. They're pointing to the fundamental problem that keeps most people trapped in cycles of mediocrity and exhaustion. The answers to these questions reveal why Yatoshin's approach is so revolutionary and why it's even more relevant in our modern world than it was in 12th century Japan. We live in an era where the quality of our consciousness directly determines the quality of our results, where mental clarity and creative insight are the ultimate competitive advantages. Yet most of us approach sleep with the same unconscious habits that guarantee mediocre rest and suboptimal performance. Yatoshin understood that sleep isn't just about physical restoration, but about upgrading your entire operating system for peak effectiveness. The second component of Yatoshin's sleep mastery is what he called strategic awakening, a precise method for transitioning from sleep to full alertness that maximizes the benefits of your unified rest. Most people destroy the value of their sleep in the first few minutes of waking up by immediately flooding their consciousness with external stimulation, checking phones, rushing into activities, or allowing their surface mind to become chaotic before they've fully activated their strategic and essence minds. This is like spending thousands of dollars on premium fuel for your car, and then immediately contaminating it with water and dirt. The quality of your awakening determines whether you'll be able to access and maintain the clarity, creativity, and vitality that your unified rest has created. Yatoshin's strategic awakening begins the moment you open your eyes and involves a specific sequence that gradually activates each level of consciousness in the proper order. The entire process takes exactly 7 minutes and must be completed before you engage with any external input or begin your daily activities. The first step is what he called stillness recognition, where you remain physically still for 60 seconds while allowing your awareness to fully return to your body and environment without any external input. This prevents the jarring transition that dissipates the clarity and energy you've accumulated during sleep. During this minute, you consciously feel the weight of your body against the bed. Notice the quality of light in the room, become aware of any sounds in your environment, and allow your nervous system to gradually shift from the deep rest state to active alertness without shocking your system into immediate action. This isn't about lying in bed being lazy, but about honoring the delicate transition from unconscious processing to conscious awareness. Your brain needs this gradual activation to maintain the neural coherence and mental clarity that developed during sleep. The second step is intention setting, where you spend 2 minutes connecting with the 3 challenges or opportunities you entrusted to your strategic mind the night before, allowing any insights or directions that emerge during sleep to surface naturally without forcing them. You gently bring each challenge to mind and simply observe what thoughts, feelings, or images arise, trusting that your unconscious processing may have provided new perspectives or solutions that weren't available to your conscious mind the previous day. Sometimes the insights are immediate and clear. Sometimes they emerge as subtle shifts in how you feel about the challenge. And sometimes the benefit is simply a greater sense of confidence that solutions will appear as you take action throughout the day. The key is to approach this inquiry with curiosity rather than pressure, allowing your strategic mind to share whatever processing it has completed without demanding specific results. The third step is vitality activation, a specific breathing and movement sequence that takes 3 minutes and gradually brings your physical energy to full alertness while maintaining the mental clarity you've cultivated. This involves a precise pattern of deep breathing combined with gentle stretching that activates your sympathetic nervous system in a controlled way, increasing heart rate and circulation while keeping your mind calm and focused. The movements are designed to honor your body's natural awakening process while intentionally building the energy you'll need for peak performance throughout the day. You begin with deep diaphragmatic breathing, gradually increasing the pace and depth to activate your energy systems. Then move into gentle stretching that awakens your muscles and joints without shocking your system into stress. The final step is day's vision, where you spend 1 minute connecting with your deepest purpose and visualizing how you'll express your highest capabilities throughout the coming day. You briefly review your most important priorities, see yourself handling challenges with wisdom and creativity. Imagine yourself contributing value in your relationships and work, and set an intention to remain connected to your essence throughout whatever circumstances arise. This isn't about creating detailed plans or schedules, but about establishing an energetic intention that will guide your choices and actions throughout the day. When David implemented this strategic awakening sequence, he discovered that the way he started his day completely transformed his energy, focus, and effectiveness throughout the next 16 hours. Instead of the groggy confusion and scattered attention that used to characterize his mornings, he was experiencing what he called immediate optimization, where his mind and body operated at peak capacity from the moment he got out of bed. The compound effect was extraordinary, as each perfectly optimized morning created momentum that carried through the entire day, leading to better decisions, more creative solutions, deeper relationships, and a profound sense of satisfaction with his daily progress toward his larger goals. But here's what makes Yatoshin's approach truly extraordinary, and why it's creating such dramatic results for people who apply it correctly. This isn't just about sleeping less and working more, but about fundamentally upgrading the quality of your consciousness so that every hour of your waking life becomes more productive, creative, and fulfilling. When you achieve true unified rest, you're not just restoring your physical energy, but actually enhancing your mental capabilities, emotional resilience, and intuitive insight. When you implement strategic awakening, you're not just waking up faster, but establishing a foundation of clarity and purpose that influences every decision and action throughout your day. The compound effect of these practices creates what Yatoshin called the warrior's advantage, a state of sustained peak performance that allows you to accomplish more in less time while maintaining balance and well-being. Let me share with you exactly how to implement these techniques in your modern life, because knowing the principles is only valuable if you can translate them into practical results that transform your daily experience. The implementation requires commitment and precision, but the results justify every moment of effort you invest in mastering these practices. For the evening clearing, choose a specific time each night, ideally 1 hour before you want to fall asleep, when you can perform this 15-minute practice without interruption. Create a dedicated space in your home that's free from electronic devices and external distractions, a place where your mind can naturally settle into contemplation and preparation for rest. Begin with the day's completion by mentally reviewing your day in chronological order, acknowledging each significant event with gratitude or acceptance without trying to change or judge anything. Move methodically through your day from morning to evening, spending just enough time on each memory to honor it fully before moving to the next. When you encounter memories that trigger strong emotions or unresolved concerns, acknowledge them without trying to solve or analyze anything, simply accepting that these experiences are complete and can now contribute to your wisdom rather than disturbing your peace. Move into the strategic challenge phase by clearly identifying the 3 most important issues you're currently facing, and consciously releasing them to your unconscious mind with the intention that insights will emerge naturally during sleep. Be extremely specific about what you're asking your mind to work on, but completely unattached to how or when solutions will appear. Complete with essence alignment by connecting with your core values and long-term vision, allowing a sense of purpose and meaning to settle into your consciousness as you prepare for rest. Visualize the person you're becoming through your current challenges. Feel gratitude for the opportunity to grow and contribute, and establish an intention that your sleep will serve your highest purpose. For the strategic awakening, set your alarm for the minimum amount of sleep that allows you to feel physically restored, which for most people using this technique will be between 5 and 6 hours. When you wake up, resist the immediate impulse to check devices or jump into activity. Instead, practice stillness recognition by lying quietly and allowing your awareness to gradually expand from your body to your environment. Notice the quality of your breathing, the temperature of the air, the sounds around you without trying to change anything or rush into activity. Move into intention setting by gently inquiring about the challenges you entrusted to your unconscious mind, allowing any insights to surface without forcing them. If solutions or new perspectives appear, receive them with gratitude but without pressure to act immediately. Perform the vitality activation through deep breathing, combined with gentle stretching that gradually increases your physical energy while maintaining mental clarity. Conclude with day's vision by spending 1 minute visualizing how you'll embody your highest capabilities throughout the coming day, setting an intention to remain connected to your essence regardless of external circumstances. If you felt that spark of recognition while listening to this, if something inside you knows that this is exactly what you've been searching for to break through to your next level of capability and satisfaction, then I want you to take action right now. Comment below and tell me which aspect of your life would change the most if you gained 3 hours of productive time every day while feeling more energized than ever before. Would you finally start that business you've been dreaming about? Would you deepen your most important relationships? Would you pursue that creative project that's been calling to you? Your answer will not only clarify your own motivation, but inspire others in our community who are facing similar choices about how to invest their time and energy. The ancient wisdom of Minamoto Yatoshin offers you more than just better sleep. It offers you the keys to unlocking your highest potential and creating the life you are truly meant to live. And that journey begins with the choice you make right now to embrace these practices or continue accepting less than your best.